Hello my fellow T-Bags, Cinemark 77 coming at you today. And here it is, 31st, New Year's Eve. Rock and roll, man. I don't know about the rest of y'all. My New Year's Eve is going to be spent at home. I will be eating a bowl of black-eyed peas and drinking my bourbon and Coke tonight. Hell yeah. Not too much because I got to be up at 8 o'clock in the morning to be at work. So my New Year's is going to be awesome. I'm going to spend it with my wife, my son, a couple friends. That's going to be about it. Oh, plus it's payday for me, so rock and roll. I was recently asked if I could do a knife maintenance video. And I decided that instead of trying to go through and show everybody, I figured it'd be a hell of a lot easier just to tell y'all how I, maintain and keep my knives. Which is really simple. Anybody can do it. You just can't be a dummy about it. You know what I mean? First of all, we're going to start with a brand new knife. Whatever knife it is, brand new. Prime example. Now most of y'all, I know, will probably buy something that's going to have a sandwich construction, like so. What I mean by that, I mean you will have your scale and a liner, and then your blade. Okay? Same thing. Scale, liner, blade. You see all that? Awesome. One of the first things I always do when I buy a brand new knife, or when I get a knife brand new, is I take it and I put a drop of Dawn dishwashing liquid right here, right there, and I work it under hot water and I wash the knife. And what that does is the Dawn will actually pull out all the oil and grease that's on there from the factory. It will also wash away any particles that are in there from the factory, whether it be the dust from metal, G10, micarta, whatever. It washes it all away. And this is without taking the knife apart, y'all. And once you get done with that, you want to sit there and you want to dry your knife. Now, one of the best ways to do this is to use a can of compressed air, an air duster, like for keyboards and stuff, and just dry it off really good. If you can't do that, then I suggest you put a dry washcloth or towel in your hand and do this number. As you can see, I'm holding it by the blade and I'm smacking the pommel or the heel of the knife, however you want to look at it, against my hand. And what that is doing, that is sending everything out, and it'll all come out on that washcloth. Okay? Once you get your knife dry, test the action out. Is it smoother? Is it rougher? Can you hear metal on metal? If your answer is yes to any of is it rougher? If your answer is yes, take your knife apart. Can you hear metal on metal? The answer is yes, take your knife apart. If it's smoother, leave it alone. Let it be. Okay? Because if you use hot water, as hot as you can possibly stand it, what that does, it actually, we all know, heat makes stuff expand, including metal. Believe it or not. Even on a minute scale, it makes it expand. Once that expansion happens, all that stuff that's trapped in there has a little bit more room to get out. Now, if you can't get it out, take your knife apart, wipe it down extremely well. Make sure that there's nothing inside. Take the scales off, take it all apart, wipe it down completely. Put it back together, which is a very easy process, unless you have something that is assisted or with loose bearings. You know what I mean? Then that part's going to be a wee bit difficult. But that's a video of another nature. So once your knife gets as smooth as you want it to be, I suggest that you take some type of lubricant. Now there are two types of lubricant I like to use. One is called all-in-one oil. It comes in a red and white can. It's an excellent product for lubricating everything. It's great for lubricating guns. It's great for lubricating door hinges. It's great for lubricating knives. It's an awesome lubricant that you can find just about anywhere. But I've also have another lubricant that I like to use, and it's thanks to my homeboy Superfly Fat Guy, and that is Tough Glide. This stuff, I'm starting to figure this stuff out more and more every time I use it. This stuff is awesome. If you do not have a lubricant for your knives with a needle tip applicator, y'all need to get one. This thing will save you a lot of hassle. A lot of hassle. Because of that little needle tip right there. Alright. I can actually sit there and lubricate my knives without having to take them apart. Which is awesome. Once you get your lubricant in, you need to work your blade back and forth so your lubricant spreads around and gets everything coated, because you want your bearings coated. Yes, for the love of God, they're bearings, nothing else. Okay? It's not a washer. A washer holds stuff. Remember that, y'all. It's not a washer. It holds stuff. Washers are intended to hold. Bearings are intended to make things move. Okay? Bearings do not have to be round. They can be flat. It's known as a plain bearing. You don't believe me? Look it up. This doesn't have any bearings, so to speak. This actually has a ball bearing system in it, known as the IKBS. So it has bearings it has spherical bearings in this, and plain or flat bearings in this. So once you get your bearings lubricated and your action is smooth, awesome. That's what you want. A good indicator that you got smooth action. You see it drop? Yeah. Once again, check it out, even on this one. See, now if that flipper wasn't there, see if I can do this. You see that? There you go. That's what you want to see. You want to be able to disengage your lock and your knife blade drop. Awesome. Another prime example. You see how it just, alright, it's on the level and it still drops. That's what you want to see. If your knife does that, it's smooth. It's got great action to it. Now you just got to learn how to keep it that way. And one of the things I like to do to keep my knife that way is make sure that no pocket length stays in there. I try to wipe them out with a Q-tip on a daily basis. Go to Dollar General, Family Dollar, any type of dollar store, and buy their name brand, not their name brand, but buy their store brand Q-tips. A, the harder than actual Q-tips, and B, they're a lot cheaper to afford. You could sit there and use them all day long and not be using good Q-tips for working on your knives. Now, once I've done the maintenance on my knife, which is making sure that it's smooth, making sure that everything's lubricated the way it's supposed to be. If you take your knife apart with your little needle tip applicator or your oil, whatever lubricant you choose to use, put a couple of drops around your pivot, which is, this part right here. The thing that actually holds your blade inside the knife handle. And that will actually help reduce wear on your pivot area, and it will also increase the speed of opening. So pretty cool. Now once all that's done, once your knife is back together and all that, the next thing I like to do on a new knife is put my edge on it. Now we all know how to put my edge on a knife. I got a Lansky Pro system. I use 20-degree setting, so it's 40 degrees conclusive edge on all my cutting blades. Most of them already come with a 20-degree, and the only thing I do after that with the Lansky is I get the bevels straight and even, and then it comes down to two things: strops. Now, one strop I have is loaded with a polishing compound, which I'll never know what polishing compound I use, but it is not a stropping compound. I do not use stropping compounds. I never have. I've used my polishing compound, and that is it. It's also the same polishing compound I use to buff my blades out with. It's awesome. I've told my little secret to a couple of people on here. They know what it is. If they haven't tried it out yet, it's not my problem. But to let y'all all know, one little secret, see, I'm at 11 minutes already, almost on 12, is that this is the finest polishing compound you can find. It's finer than the Ruby Rouge, which jewelers like to use. It's awesome. I love it. So I polish up the edge. Once I get done putting the edge of sand on it, then I sit there and I strop it on this strop, and I strop it on this strop. And after that, depending on the usage that you put your knife through, the only thing you have to do to maintain a hair-popping edge is to strop your knife. That is it. If you sit there and you lightly just strop your knife, and that's it. For those of y'all who do not know, check it out. I'll do this right here for you. This is how you properly strop a knife, in my opinion. Some people like to start at the heel. I don't. I like to start at the tip, work the way up to the heel. Now, you see that? It's just one fluid motion. Now, there we go. And what that does, I've said this before, I'll have to say it again. If anybody looks under a microscope at any straight edge, none of them are straight. They're all edges are serrated. All of them. The only true blue straight edge we have, which is not true blue straight edge, but it's the closest thing we have one, is an obsidian scalpel. And they still have a couple of jagged teeth on there, but guess what? It's only a couple with a lot of straight edge. Everything else is pure serrations. Sorry, y'all. Hate to bust y'all's bubble, but there's no true thing as a straight edge knife. They're all serrated. It's just on a different level. These serrations are on a microscopic level. As a matter of fact, if you take a brand new knife out the box and you strop it enough, you can actually see the serrations of the edge. It's kind of cool. I suggest you try it sometime. But keep your edges stropped, a light stropped. If you've got chunks missing out your edge, you need to reprofile your edge, and that's it. That's how I maintain my knives. That's how I take care of my knives. They all get, excuse me, all a good hot bubble bath. They get some love and care from the Lansky system. Then I get to rub them all down with some leather. Sounds like a weekend to me. But yeah, there we go. That was this video is for MrMetalFiend, by the way. He's the one who asked me for this. So y'all go check him out. You know, he's a cool cat. Posts a lot of comments to my channel and to my videos and stuff, so he's an awesome dude. MrMetalFiend, I hope this has helped you out a little bit. If you would like for me to get into more detail about this, just shoot me a PM and I'll let you know more. Thank you very much. Keep your finger in the oil. Have a nice day, y'all.